Well, good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the BREVARD Sports Network, and it is that time of the year again. And I can tell you right now, as a guy from Baltimore, you would think that lacrosse was a sport that has always excited me all of my life. Well, that's not necessarily the case. I was a football player, I was a hockey player, so those were the sports I concentrated on. It wasn't until I moved to the state of Florida that I actually became enamored and fell in love with the sport of lacrosse. And this young lady here with me today and her team and this program is a big reason why I became such a big fan of lacrosse. Please help me welcome here for the first time as we kick off our 2024 lacrosse season, senior. I can't believe I'm saying senior already. From the Viera Hawks, Isabella Disciascio. Isabella, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. I'm so glad that you could be here today. All right. As we're recording this, you had an exhibition game yesterday.
Yep.
Give me the good and the bad from it.
I think the good, we really meshed as a team for the first time because we did have some losses with seniors last year. We kind of got to get to know each other more, and this was our first real time playing together against someone else that isn't just each other in practice. So I think we looked pretty strong for our first game, but I think we have room to improve. Offensively and defensively, so it'll be fun.
What did you like specifically about what your team did in that first game?
I think we did really good on seeing each other on offense. I think our feeds and goals were well connected, and I'd like to say that we have better offense than last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary because this team has always had a very good offense. And there you see Isabella's stats on the bottom of the screen. Last year, 44 goals, at least according to Max Preps. And I know that a lot of times coaches, and I'm not knocking the coaches, so don't get angry at me. I'm not knocking the coaches, but I know a lot of times these stats aren't exactly accurate. But 44 goals, 41 assists for her career at Viera, 109 and 98. Before we talk more about the high school aspect of it, I want to know about how you became to fall in love with this sport, because this isn't a sport that's been played forever down here.
Yeah.
Talk about how you became involved with playing lacrosse, how you became so good at it. Take me through that dynamic.
Yeah, so fourth grade is when it all started. That's when I first started playing. I initially wanted to play hockey because my cousin played hockey, so I wanted to do that, but then I realized it's Florida. There's not really that much opportunity for hockey. So one of my mom's friends suggested lacrosse, so I got into that through Space Coast, started playing rec and everything. I think the first 2 years, it was kind of slow, and I didn't really have as much passion as I do now. And I believe sixth grade is when I started really picking it up.
Got you.
I know there was a specific day when I went out and did wall ball, and I was like, why have I not done this more? This is so fun. So, yeah, that was definitely the moment when I started taking it more seriously. I think 2021 was when I moved to Storm Select, which is my club team that I just finished up with.
Okay.
Just for more competitiveness.
Sure.
I think that was definitely what flipped a switch for me. Being able to play with better people, better competition, it definitely fueled my passion for the sport. And I would say just being able to practice on my own really fueled my love for the sport, because it was my own thing.
Right.
That I could spend time with myself.
Because you did this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Mm-hmm. So who were some of the coaches along the way that, to get to this point, that you kind of look back on and go, this particular individual, or maybe it was a teammate, or who have been the influences for you?
Yeah. For coach-wise, the first coaches I really remember, Chip Wessel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely really helped me. Always was someone on my shoulder to help me, guide me along the way. Let's think. Just a lot of different people.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so diverse down here. You haven't had one coach with one program for so many years,
Yeah.
so I can kind of see that. All right, let's talk about, you committed to Lindenwood, and you've done that. You did this early, and you know what? For those of you out there, and I don't care what sport you're playing, when you get the offer, and I reiterate this, and you see this on National Signing Day this year, when you get the offer to the school you want, take it. Please take it. And you did that.
Yeah.
And congratulations to you on
you.
that. Tell me why Lindenwood was right for you.
So my process initially, it kind of started out a little bit slower. I hate to say it, but emails were the worst part of it because it was just so repetitive.
Sure.
But there was one school, Lindenwood was really the school that stood out to me because they made me feel wanted as not only an athlete but also a person. And that was something really important to me because I did go through the process with a couple other schools and they didn't seem as like, oh, we want you.
Right.
Yeah, it was more of like oh, you could fill a spot on our roster. And I think Lindenwood really had the difference there with where they saw potential in me to go far in their program. And they really welcomed me on my official visit. They gave me a tour. They just told me everything that I could fit in at their school, and I really appreciated that.
So this is in Missouri.
Yeah.
So you got Kansas City on one side, you got St. Louis on the other. Where is this in relation to those?
It's 15 minutes away from St. Louis, so it's in St. Charles.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, so you won't become a Chiefs fan. I know that. So are you nervous about making that jump? Because here we are in February, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. It's going to be, next thing you know is prom. Next thing you know is you're walking across that stage at Hawk Stadium.
Yeah.
And then you know what? You got to report. So are you nervous about this? Take me through. I mean, you're going from Florida to Missouri. There's no palm trees in Missouri, so
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that.
So I think right now I'm trying to just take in everything I can for, like, the rest of high school. And, like, it is scarily close to college time, but I think, like, I'll be ready for that jump when it's time because I have so many people that are standing behind me with college. We have 17 recruits in my class, so I have people I know going into it. I've always wanted to go somewhere out of state for college. I didn't want to stay, like, home. Like, I wanted to go experience
Sure.
things.
Makes sense.
So, like, Missouri, I think, definitely was the place for me to go.
No, I agree. And St. Louis, good city.
Yeah.
The big arch there. And did you visit?
Yeah.
What'd you like most about it?
I mean, I was in more St. Charles and St. Louis, but I just like the stark difference. Like, there was small town in St. Charles and then just, like, city. So
Right.
it was a nice, like, divide, and you can go anywhere.
What month did you go?
December.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the big question. It's not 80 degrees in Missouri in December.
Mm-hmm.
You're excited about the new wardrobe?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the first must-have for the winter wardrobe? What have you eyed up that you're like, you know what? This is a must-have.
We get cool, like, they're like floor-length, like, parkas for Lindenwood Lacrosse. So
Oh,
I'm
no
really
way.
excited. Yeah, we get cool, like, stuff like that. So
Those
I'm
aren't
excited.
cheap either.
I know, I'm excited. They're really comfortable. On my, we went on a team visit this past October, and they got to let us wear them. So I was excited for that.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Here with senior Isabella Disciascio for Viera Hawks Lacrosse. All right, let's talk about your team. This is a team that has really grown up together. I mean, you've had your seniors in there along the way that have, but this team this year is really the one I think everybody wanted. And I don't mean any disrespect to the girls that played before you at all, but this is the team everybody wanted to see become seniors.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. So the expectations for this year, what expectations and goals? And I know everybody says we want to win a state championship, but there are certain steps you have to take along the way of the season to get to that point. What expectations and goals have you ladies placed upon yourselves this year?
Yeah. I would say our biggest hurdle we want to cross finally is to beat Viera Beach.
Sure.
That's definitely our biggest goal. I think we all agree on that. That's, like, one of the things we've been building up to and, like, slowly getting closer to. So I think that's something. I think, like, my personal goal for the team is I just want everyone to be better than we were at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
Especially setting each other up for success. I think our teamwork is going to be better this year. We have a new addition, Issa Brown from Rockledge. We're getting
Okay.
her.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have a couple more people on offense, and I think that we'll mesh well. And I think if we believe in each other the way, like, we believe in ourselves, we'll go really far.
Tell me about Coach.
Bailey, she's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so excited. She definitely has a goal for us that I think is stronger than the past coaches. She knows when to have fun, when to be serious. I think that she has a very good leadership quality in her that will definitely go very far with.
What's been the hardest part to get to this point for you?
I would just say like all the mornings and afternoons and stuff that we've had to spend all together, like hard work, I think.
Now, when you
Definitely.
get to Lindenwood, what is it you want to study? What is it? I forgot to ask that question. But what do you want to study? What do you like to study? Tell me about Isabella Disciascio in the classroom.
I want to do kinesiology,
Okay.
college exercise science. I really have always liked just like I want to stay in sports basically. Basically just anatomy is what I really like right now. So just learning about like physiology and exercise stuff like
So
that.
where would you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years?
I want to either be a physical therapist and have my own practice, or I want to be a athletic trainer for like a pro or college sports team. And then another option, this could change, but being a physical therapist in the Navy could be pretty cool, I feel like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like that could be
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Well, you're going off to Missouri, so I mean, to join the Navy would be. You said the Navy, right? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that would really be cool. What does this team need to do to get better?
I would say just focusing on the bigger picture rather than the small things. I think we focus on the small things every practice, and like we work on technical things. So I think focusing on each other and what we need to do to get each other better rather than focusing on ourselves would be a good thing to focus on this year.
All right, we'll come back to lacrosse in a minute, but we always want to make sure people understand the human side of the student athlete as well. Senior year, I mean, it seems like just yesterday we were putting up pictures of everybody's first day of school. And here we are in February. It's spring sports already. May is just around the corner.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most over the course of the next 2 or 3 months? Because that's all you got left.
I know, that's kind of sad to think about, honestly. I think a few things. I think these past few months are stuff we really need to focus on, like cherishing, because it's all you really have left. So I think just spending more time, like for lacrosse season especially, I want to really just make sure I'm taking in all that. I'm excited for prom. I think that'll be fun.
Have you started prom shopping?
Oh, I already have my dress, of course.
What?
Yeah, I already have my
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I'm way behind the times.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm extra prepared this year.
There
And
you
then-
go.
Yeah, and then definitely graduation. I think just like the end of the year things that the seniors do, like senior sunrises, all that sort of stuff that we can all do together, like one last time, will be exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. The grad bash and all that. Does all that stuff still
yeah.
have? Okay, all right. I didn't know if they brought all that stuff back after COVID, and so that's awesome. What makes Viera the school? I mean, if we're telling truths here, it's loved and it's hated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one or the other. There's never an in between when it comes to Viera, the school, the sports programs.
Yeah.
Tell me about Viera.
Yeah. I think that we have a reputation in many different ways. Like, I think sports-wise, I think we just have that connection and that high standard for ourselves that other schools may not, and we have just a drive and dedication to win.
I agree.
I think we have a very winning, like, characteristic, and
no.
I think that can scare other teams. It
Sure.
can make them not necessarily jealous, but I think we just have that like high standard for ourselves.
That is well said, and that is true. Because as you there, yes, that is 100%. I couldn't have said it any better. So here with Isabella Disciascio, tell me about your family.
Yeah. So I have a twin brother.
Right.
And I have my mom and my dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think.
So you got a twin brother.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
let's find out a little bit about that. That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
We're complete opposites. Like nothing about us is the same.
Who's older?
Him by a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He never lets me live it down. It's always I'm the younger one by a minute. So.
Now, does he play any sports, or is he no?
No, he's
So,
very like quiet, like video games, like books, all that sort of
so
stuff.
you're the athletic one, and then he's like the techie one.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right. So that I did not know you were a twin.
Yeah.
Tell me about mom and dad.
So my dad,
Right.
So I think they're two of my biggest supporters, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah, I would definitely say like they do so much for me that I don't always say I appreciate it enough. So thank you for all that. Yeah, so my parents they moved here, but they didn't live here. So my dad's from New Jersey, my mom's from Massachusetts. So I think
Okay.
the cold weather is definitely.
We're all from up the
Yeah,
East Coast.
I think I meant to live somewhere else, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I tell you, how long have you been here?
88 when I came down.
Okay, so now if you ever go back to Jersey, or like for me, I've been down here since 2008. And now, last time I went back to Maryland, and it was 40 degrees, I thought I was going to die of hypothermia. it's an entirely different, world. So I have to ask, one of the questions I always ask is, as you look back over these past 4 years, would there be anything that you would have done differently?
You mean lacrosse-wise or just in general?
Anything, as it pertains to school.
I think school-wise, I have done everything I wanted to. I mean, dual enrollment was definitely a good choice for me.
Right.
I think that's something if I didn't do it, I would have regretted, because I'm going to be graduating with my AA this May. So
Okay. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'll have a little bit of an up when I get to college, because I'll have all my general classes done, so that's good. I think lacrosse-wise, I don't think there's anything I could have really asked for differently.
No.
I think I have represented myself and our team well, and I think I'm excited for
109 goals and 98 assists. I don't think there's anything else you could have done either. Here's another question I ask seniors that have gone through the recruiting process as you have. First of all, did you enjoy the recruiting process? I often find that there's either you liked it or you didn't.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody sit in that chair and say, it was okay.
Yeah.
What would you say about the recruiting process?
I would say it went very well in my favor. I was very lucky. Now that I think about it, Lindenwood was my first official visit, my only official visit. I was pretty much one and done. So that was very lucky for that. I would say it took definitely some mental toughness to handle that rejection at first, because I wasn't really used to that. So going through the process and seeing these schools say, oh, we're not really interested back at you, or we are moving forward without you.
Right.
I think it was something that kind of put a chip on my shoulder and made me realize that that's how life is, and that's not something, you're not always going to be told yes. And I think that's something I really had to learn, but I'm grateful that I did.
What advice would you give somebody else in your sport? Mm-hmm. Boys or girls? Because boys go through the same thing when it comes, this is a recruited state, but it's only recruited in areas. Mm-hmm. Okay. What advice would you have for lacrosse players out there that have talent and want to play this sport in college right here in Brevard County?
I would say the biggest thing, you need to start early. I think I started emailing coaches beginning of sophomore year.
Explain that.
Yeah, so, I was grateful enough to have a recruiting director through Storm Select, so she really helped me get on track.
Really?
Yeah, so we were provided a recruiting director, and Bomlani, she's awesome. She's recruited so many
That's
people.
Incredible.
Yeah, so I was grateful enough to have that. She basically told me, you need to make a realistic list of people that you think could take you. You don't want to have all the, top 25 schools if you don't think you could play there. She just kind of gave me a reality check of, put schools that you think that would take you and not just the ones that you want to go to. So that was good. I would say email everyone, regardless of how much you think they could take you. You need to just put yourself out there, and that's the biggest thing.
Where is Storms? Are they here in Brevard County?
No, they're in Orlando, Apopka area.
I would love to get in touch with this lady, because for club sports to have recruiting directors is a must.
Yeah,
it has to be a must to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not knocking student athletes or clubs, but as you watch the numbers go down, and girls, women's sports is no different. There are transfer portals there too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you could utilize NIL in college, would you?
Yes.
You got any ideas?
I think just I think it's a good opportunity now, being able to put yourself out there as an athlete.
Sure.
And representing your school. I think it's a good opportunity, especially for women's sports, to be able to get a name for yourself and be able to benefit off of it. I think that's something good, and I think I would definitely try that out.
And I think you have the personality to be able to do that as well. So based on what I know about, in my experience, I think that's something that if the opportunity persists and you have a chance to do it, if I were you, I would do it.
Yeah.
I think you could be successful with it. I really do.
Thank you.
Here with Isabella Disciascio. As you look back, we ask you if there was anything you would change, but as you look back, what are some of your fondest memories to this point in lacrosse? And then we'll talk about school.
Yeah, I would say for lacrosse, I think teamwork is something that I take pride in, being able to set everyone else up for success, and I would say just being able to work well with the people that I've played with is something that I really appreciate that I've had the opportunity to do. And I would say my goals as well. I feel like I've worked really hard for what I have, and I think that that's something that I really appreciate that I was able to present.
You take pride in working hard,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
I think you should. And I think that's fantastic. I guess, is there a particular goal you remember or an assist? Or
yes.
give me one or two.
It was the Viera Beach game last year. This is my favorite goal I've ever scored. It was
Okay.
the Viera Beach game last year. We lost 15-8, but the first half of that game, that was probably the best game I've ever played, like high school-wise. I think I had like 4. That was just my best. So it was a goal. I think Catherine and Zeke passed it to me. I was cutting through the middle.
Right.
And there was a defender on my back, and I turn around and I just shovel it behind my back, like top.
Oh, one of those, huh?
I watched that over and over again. It was my favorite one I've ever scored.
That's all. Man, where was this at, Vero or home?
It was at Viera.
Was it?
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have that video.
Yeah.
You got video of that?
I do.
Send that to
I
me
will.
so
I
people
will.
can watch this as you're describing that. How about high school? Some fond memory looking back. Is there one specific moment or?
I think I like everything about it. I honestly think there's probably a few.
Got a favorite teacher?
I really like Coach Wayne right now for
Okay.
psychology. Yeah, Miss Wayne. Yeah, I like her a lot. I've only had her this year, but I like her a lot. I like her the way she teaches. I like the way she connects with everyone. Like she had the first day of school, she remembered everyone's name.
That's incredible.
I know, like just so personal.
I can have 4
Yeah.
people sitting there and I won't remember 3 of the
I know,
names.
yeah.
That's
I
me.
know.
Wow. For you and this team this year, yeah, it's that time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no more, okay, well, we didn't do it this year, but there's next year. That's not the case. Is there a certain amount of nervousness going into this year, or are you all just confident and ready to go?
I think it's a mix for me. It's more confident and ready to go than nervous. I know our first game is St. Ed's, so that's definitely
Right out of the gate.
because we lost to them in overtime last year. So
Right.
that's something we need to like mentally prepare for is just going like hard out the gate. But I think with the way we've performed against Brevard County teams, I think we just need to keep going at that. And then with the harder teams like Lake Brantley, we beat them by 1
Yeah.
last year. Vero Beach, I think those games we just need to like put on a helmet and just get in there. Like we just need to like don't overthink it because overthinking will make you shut down.
What's one thing you believe everybody should know about the 2024 Viera Hawks girls lacrosse team?
We're in it to win it.
Yeah.
And we don't have any plans of changing our play for anyone. We're ready to go and we're going to keep going.
Isabella, this has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I am so glad that you came into the studio today to talk to us because as we get to know the student athletes a little bit more by doing things like this, you'll see, we actually find ourselves cheering for them, as we're broadcasting. And is there anything you want anybody to know? Did you want to say anything to anybody out there? This is the platform to do it.
Yeah. I would just say like the main reason why I started playing lacrosse was because I saw the bigger people playing and I was like, oh, I really want to be there one day. And like I think just for people that are going through the process of like developing as a person and player, I think that you need to see that even the best players, they have flaws too, and I had to learn that. Like even going to tournaments and seeing these top 25 recruits and like they make the same mistakes I do.
What?
And it's like,
What would you like to see changed? Now, the boys and the girls game is drastically different. Now, obviously, they don't want the girls running around out there like the guys do, knocking the hell out of each other, right?
Yeah.
But would you change anything about the girls game?
I would say less whistles between plays. I think we get stopped a lot.
Amen.
Yeah, we get stopped a lot.
Hey, let's give it up for that answer right there. Are you listening, officials? Amen to that. What do you think needs to happen as a whole? Now, you've experienced Brevard County lacrosse.
Yeah.
You are a part of the growth of this sport in this county. You'll always be a part of that generation of student athletes that saw lacrosse blow up in this county. Mm-hmm. What needs to continue to happen, in your opinion, for that trend to continue to go up?
I think we need to have coaches within, like, across high schools that just really want to see everyone succeed. I think we need to have that work ethic to get better and not just to meet a standard. We need to just excel, I think.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people will just play, let's say they'll do wall ball and they'll be like, oh, I did it for the day. Like they'll just stop at the day. But I think people need to worry about getting better as a team, and not only as a person but as a team, and like really build each other up. I think if we keep that trend, I think we'll do a lot in Brevard County.
Do you ever think there will come a day when Brevard County lacrosse will be on the map with the Tampas and the Miamis of the world?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been absolutely awesome. And it's amazing. You wouldn't think, but that 26 minutes just flew right by.
It did.
It was absolutely crazy. Of course, I want to thank Mr. Disciascio. He's here as well. And, of course, Caleb, who sets all of this up in such a small, confined space. If you've been here, you know how we operate. We try to keep it cost-effective. And thank you to Isabella Disciascio for coming in today. Well, enjoy the lacrosse season, because I think it's going to be a good one here in Brevard County. And I really believe that it's going to be a good one right at Viera High School. For Isabella Disciascio, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.